Some awesome information came out of the Game Informer's podcast with Sean Murray here on Cobra TV.
Starting out, Cobra TV is asking, because there's been, the way you guys have worded it has kind of bounced back and forth. And so he's looking for a simple clarification. Is this a universe that you're building for your game, or is it just one galaxy?
It's a universe.
Why do you make that distinction?
It's actually Alex, who works here, who changed the text for some reason on our website. An infinite galaxy rather than infinite universe. I don't really know why he did that, but it caused some sort of like vague controversy.
But it is the mystery and the glowing areas, that's towards the center of the galaxy. So you can't leave that galaxy, so why call it a universe then?
Well, let's not spoil things for people. You start out in a same galaxy as everyone else.
Okay.
When you begin, but we've said before, there is more than one galaxy.
So one of the questions that I submitted was to kind of clear up whether No Man's Sky was a universe or a galaxy. Now, a lot of the veteran No Man's Sky fans knew that this was a universe, but some of the newer people that kept coming on and learning about No Man's Sky were pretty set in, their opinion that this was a galaxy and not a universe. Of course, our question, here on Cobra TV got answered on the podcast, and it is a universe with multiple galaxies. Now, after that, I started getting some people who were continuing to argue, what's the difference between a galaxy with 18 quintillion planets or a universe with 18 quintillion planets? Now, you're looking at it the wrong way, is what I told them. I mean, what if the next galaxy we go to is another seed that generates an additional 18 quintillion planets? Now, this might seem just a little bit too big, but already just 18 quintillion planets, period, is already too big. You're not going to discover even a fraction of that in your lifetime.
Right.
But what it does do is it creates an amazing environment to where you just don't know which way to go, what to do. I mean, it's an amazing concept. And like I said before, a long time ago, if you're going to meet with your friend, it's sounding like you better do so in the beginning, because I think the longer that this game goes on, the years that passed, I think the harder it's going to be for you to ever meet anybody, even on purpose. You go to one galaxy, then to another galaxy, then to another one, and you're getting further and further away from any online player, period.
Right.
And the reason why they changed it to Galaxy on the website, he explains, it was a joke. But multiple galaxies confirmed. Could you manually fly to new solar systems? The answer is yes, but it would be very difficult, very time consuming. They don't even know how long it would take. I mean, he was even asked, would it take years? And he was he responded, we don't know.
Yeah, they haven't even tried it yet, so I would imagine it would vary. They said that they were going to try to figure out average of how long it would take.
Right.
I feel like it will be somewhere between, it's going to be a matter of hours, I think.
You think so?
I think it would be. If it's like that long that they wouldn't even want to try it, it must be at least a matter of 30 minutes to an hour.
If it was simply just a few hours, then they could just, there at their studio, just head towards a star and just set down the controller and go to work. So I imagine that it's got to be a lot further away than just a few hours.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, some are closer, some are further away. There might be a few that are a few hours.
Right. So the next question was, will there be a favorites list of planet? Because I would hate to find a beautiful planet and then lose it. And Sean answered yes, we'll have something like that, but we're gonna have waypoints. So if you do find a planet that you want to stay there, or at least be able to go back whenever you felt like it, then you could put a waypoint.
In the second trailer that they released back in early December at the PlayStation Experience, you can see him leaving a planet and then just selecting one and going to it without using the galactic map. So I think that's definitely like one of the ways to set waypoints to another planet, and maybe it was on his favorite list and he just chose it and went there.
Right.
I wonder though, how far you can actually go to a favorite planet. Are you going to have to hop to each solar system on that way there? Or can you just immediately go all the way back, no matter how far away it was?
I hope it's not like that. I would really like if you had to have like a little journey, you know?
Right. Let's see. The next one was, are there space whales or other creatures floating in space? Now, although this was an inside joke, Sean Murray loves this idea, and he even said that this could possibly find its way in the game. And then when he was asked if we could ride them, I think he liked that idea as well, too.
Yeah, like an organic spaceship, kind of.
Yeah, so that'd be, I think every time he has one of these interviews or podcasts when fans can actually put in their 2 cents and ask questions, I think he walks away from them with a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
Will every solar system have AI spaceships? So the answer to that question was no. You can sometimes be totally alone within a solar system with nothing to fight. Maybe the animals, the alien creatures, but not the AI ships.
Right.
So that'd be good at times. You know, you're constantly fighting. You're running from factions that are, you're wanted by because you're attacking them, or the galactic police have been following you, and you finally land in a solar system where there's nothing there and you can completely just relax.
Get away from all the stuff that's trying to kill you all the time.
Oh, yeah.
We're all going to need a break from that.
Sit down and get your brown bag out and start eating your lunch on a alien mountain.
Yep.
Will there be wormholes? He answered yes, but I think he was pretty much just referring to the portals on the planets.
Yeah, he even said that the portals are kind of like mini wormholes on the planets.
Right. It'd be kind of cool though if there were wormholes in space. That way you could just fly your ship through it.
Yeah, like that where they could help you travel longer than a normal jump.
Yeah.
With your spaceship.
Exactly. Can you lock yourself into orbit around a planet? He said no.
I was very disappointed by this.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool, but it is a really small feature.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be pretty neat. I guess.
Yeah, I can definitely live without it, but I just think it would be really cool.
Right. Yeah, it would be. But I guess you can kind of like coast really slow in space and just hang out real close to the planet. It'd be almost like being in orbit.
Right.
Then he answered, yes, there are going to be rings around the planets, which is really cool. And, he said pretty much whatever you see in sci-fi, we're going to see in No Man's Sky. So
right.
I wonder what kind of weird looking planets, because I've seen some pretty strange sci-fi movies with some really cool looking planets that kind of look like an apple core, just where it had just been eaten. To the sides and stuff like that, and really cool looking planets. So I wonder if we're going to see some really strange stuff.
Yeah. Can you completely cut your engines and drift off into space? And the second part of this question was, is xenoarchaeology a thing? Sean answered yes to, it's kind of answered yes to drifting off into space by cutting your engines. You can't actually completely cut your engines, but you can slow it down a lot, so that it seems like you're drifting off into space.
Right. Yeah, you can just cruise real slow.
Yeah. And Sean also said that they were talking and discussing about xenoarchaeology.
He was also asked about the transition from atmosphere to the land, and someone said they're quite short. Will they vary? And he said yes. And he is cruising in there at a pretty fast speed. So maybe a lot of us are judging too quickly on what it would actually look like. Because my only concern with the time it took you to go from atmosphere to the land was it would be really cool to be able to fly kind of high and
Right.
not pop out of the planet on accident.
Mm-hmm.
Even just adding, I know it's not supposed to be real, like simulated, but I would say another extra 5 seconds, would be sufficient.
Right.
Because we are
Yeah.
talking about very quick spaceships.
Right, because the way that Sean said it, I think he kind of thought that we were asking for like taking a long while to get in, but I would be happy with like another 2 or 3 seconds,
Yeah.
just so that we had that extra little
Height,
height factor,
right?
so that you wouldn't have to worry about popping out of the atmosphere by accident.
Yeah. He was asked about brown or dark brown dwarfs and, different colors of stars, different kinds of stars. And he said, yeah, they're in the game, but again, they're not trying to make a sim. So there are stars, not every single star that would be out there in the real universe. And there's also stars out there that are completely fictional, that don't exist. And as you've seen in one of the videos I released, where I nabbed out the red star, and he also said in the podcast that we could actually pick apart that and find stuff inside there, like maybe
Right.
twin stars or something.
Mm-hmm.
So there's he gave a little bit of hint that there's some stuff in there that we could probably see. So that's very
And
interesting.
he also said that they're not looking at making a list of all the different types of stars. They don't want to do that.
Right. Yeah, this is about, a game that's supposed to be fun, not
Right.
sitting there and say, oh, that's not scientifically accurate,
Right. Don't be
So-
that guy.
Yeah, don't be that guy. He also confirmed that there will be worlds completely composed of liquid or just all sand. And that brings up a big question. If our ships cannot go in the water and you come across a planet that's nothing but water, how would you be able to go and explore it?
Where would you land?
Would you be able to explore it? Or,
I mean, you should be able to, because that would only make sense.
right.
That would just be a waste of a planet.
Or it just could, just be there just to be there. I mean, maybe not everything is meant to be explored.
Or maybe you could just kind of fly above the surface.
You could fly above the surface. I wonder if you
You
could
just can't land on the planet. You can just kind of go there.
right. I wonder if you could hover and then just get out of your ship and use your suit to go into the water.
Mm.
And then use your jetpack to,
Or maybe if there's like a space station that has anchors, or not a space station, a docking station.
oh yeah, that could be. Never even thought about that, stupid Cobra. There could be trade stations on there that are just,
Right, that you can land at and then jump off the platform into the water and go exploring.
yeah, that'd be really cool, huh? He also confirmed that you're going to have like a planetary map. So while you're on the planet, you will have sort of like a map to be able to get around. Now, I'm not sure if this map is just going to show the points of interest on it or not. And he did say that it was pretty crappy looking or whatever, and he didn't want to show it yet. Now, this next one here, and I think a lot of people missed it because he says it really quickly and kind of under his breath a little bit. But he says, the question was, can you get into situations where you have to kill yourself because you're stuck? And he says, no, you shouldn't, because you have a jetpack. But real quick, he actually said, and let's not forget, you can deform the land.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that you could use your laser to blow up the surrounding area. Like, if there's a rock wall blocking your way, it sounds to me like you can just shoot it down or, blow it up or whatever.
Right, and he kept saying that if something like that does happen, they're considering it a glitch.
Yeah, that it's a bug that needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So it definitely sounds like we do have environmental destruction. So that's awesome. Natural disasters. There's not going to be anything like hurricanes coming through or tsunamis or anything like that. But there is rain. And he said that pretty much every planet's going to have like one natural type of weather system. So if there's a rainy planet, he said normally it's going to be always raining or always cold. But he said that you can run into certain planets where sometimes it rains, sometimes it doesn't.
He said that normally all planets would be one biome, but as we've seen, that's not true. And he did say that there are variables on planets. There's biome variables on planets, but for the most part, it will be one large biome.
So planets like Solif Prime that we've seen where it's hot and cold, some stuff like that's going to be rather rare.
Right. So are there going to be meat-eating plants?
Wow.
So Sean said yes to this question, and he originally didn't know that they were added into the game. So he told a little story. He went into the game and he was just watching these beautiful birds fly by, just kind of looking at nature. And then all of a sudden, this plant whips its tongue out and eats one of the birds. And he was not expecting that. So I would be amazed by it as well.
I almost wish he never said that.
I know.
Imagine
just kind of left it to us.
Yeah. Imagine just seeing something like that, and not even knowing that was in the game.
Right.
It would just warp the hell out of my mind.
Right.
I wouldn't trust a plant at all for the rest of the time I played No Man's Sky.
Right. I would be like, I don't want to go near that plant because I know it's gonna eat me.
Right.
Even though it's not probably gonna, it still has that chance, so I ain't going near it. Sean said no pets, except there is a bug right now where you can get animals on the front of, you can kind of scoop them up on the front of your ship and take them off into space with you. So he said if you could get that to happen, then you could bring a whole bunch of animals onto a space station and effectively start a mini zoo.
You know what? That brings up a great idea, or a great think tank. I wonder what kind of things, glitches and things like that we can do in No Man's Sky, stuff that they have not caught.
Right.
And they probably won't catch not even a percentage of them. And I wonder what kind of things we can do in No Man's Sky that they did not intend, such as taking animals out into space.
That would be great.
Yeah. I mean, it just makes you wonder, what possibilities have they not thought of fixing? Okay, you cannot build bases. You cannot build anything in the game. But he has said that if the game does have success, then those are things that he will add later. He's going to look towards the No Man's Sky fan base, the community, and get ideas of what we would like to see in the game. Now, you're not going to get new animals or new planets or anything like that, because the universe is the universe. It's not going to change, but we can get new features, things that we can do in the game to act, with the universe.
Right.
So that's good. And building and stuff like that, I know a lot of you guys out there are really looking forward to building a house or a space station or something like that.
And earlier, Sean did say that he liked the idea of building your own space station.
Yeah, he did like that. I think the biggest thing that Sean Murray wants to do is he wants us to play the game the way he wants us to play his ideal game. So I think, after we play No Man's Sky for what it's made for and what it's supposed to be, to explore and do all the things that he wants us to do, that he wants to see that carried out, and then after we have done a lot of that, I think that's when we're going to start getting the updates on some of the stuff that we want to do. It's not about building, but go ahead and explore for a long time and see what I have to offer you. And then after it's done, then I'll let you build, or then I'll let you steal aircraft or spaceships or whatever, or then I'll let you play with your friends easily.
Yep.
So I think he wants us to really play the core of No Man's Sky and get to know it before we start using it for different things. Flying in third person, they're talking about it. He said it doesn't look very good, but you know, that's still a topic that's on the table. So
Yeah.
me personally, I don't like to fly anything in third person. I like
Me neither.
Yeah, I like to be able to be in the cockpit and shoot from first person.
Right. It gives you more of a sense of being in command.
Right, it does. This is the part that really concerns me. Can you name your ship? You cannot.
Oh God.
Yes, you cannot name it per se, but you can name the type of ship. Now, hold on a second here. Now, we only have 3 types of ships, right? Trader, explorer, fighter.
Right.
Now, either there's more to this than he's letting on. I just hope if there's only 3 types of ships, I really hope that some really cool people discover it first.
Yeah. Not those little trolls who are like, "Hey, I'm gonna name this ship Dick Butt."
Right. I don't get it. I really don't.
I really don't either.
Because if they're procedurally generated, and we're not talking about types like Trader, Fighter, Explorer, then
What are we talking about?
exactly, I can't think of what he might mean by
I mean, if you guys can think of anything, just tell us in the comments, because I've got nothing.
Yeah, I definitely put your ideas down there about what he means by naming the type of ship, and that name will be for everybody.
Right.
I'm really bogged down by that statement. I can't figure that out. The only thing I could think of is that there might be, different types of fighters, different types of traders. You know, there might be like
All right.
different subtypes of fighters and different subtypes of explorer ships and stuff like that. But we'll have to wait and see. That's definitely a puzzle for me. How the space stations, they're not going to have like a big interior. They're huge, but you can't really do much inside it.
Though, say that there is more to the space stations than what we've seen.
Right.
It's not just that tunnel that we've seen.
Yeah, it's not the tunnel. There's other things behind him, he said. And what I believe is there's a kiosk back there, and maybe some other screens or displays you can walk up to. Maybe one's for trading, maybe one's for buying. And he said you cannot scan the ships too while you're flying, which I think would be cool, because he said you can follow a ship back to a space station to buy it. And I think that, you know, scanning a ship while you're flying, like, ooh, I want that ship. That's perfect. It's got the hyperdrive I need.
Right. And then you get to see, like, if you like it before you actually chase it down.
Right. Is it possible for your ship to survive all the gunfire of the freighters? That's a no.
Yeah.
And, you know, I wouldn't want that to be a yes.
Me neither.
That would suck if you were able to.
Yeah, you were just able to go into a fleet of freighters and be like, yo, I'm just going to kill you all.
Right.
And you wouldn't even have to worry about dying.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it definitely will be possible with the fire teams.
Yeah, the wingmen.
Yeah, the wingmen, not fire team. That's Destiny.
I wonder how many wingmen you can actually call.
You know, you call them once and then it sends a couple of them.
Right. I think at the most I've seen so far is 3.
Yeah.
It would be cool if you can actually call, call a whole fleet. And have your fleet fight the other fleet.
Right.
That'd be pretty cool. And some of the rapid fire questions that he answered was confirmed you can play offline. I'm not sure why anybody would want to, but to each their own, and I salute you if you want to. I mean,
right.
I would never do such a thing, but
neither would I.
If that's what you like, then I'm really happy that you can play offline. You can come across the Atlas in game. Fade-ins are going to be less pop-in like after the game's release, so he knows that it's popping and fading, and they're definitely going to start working on that. No Man's Sky is being aimed to run at 60 frames per second, but they're not promising anything.
Right.
Whether they're shooting for a physical release or not, they said, yeah, kind of. But again, they said that they're not thinking about things like that. And
I really hope that there is a physical release.
I don't think they know. I mean,
I'm gonna be mad if there isn't. I mean, I'm not gonna be like mad, but I'm gonna be irritated.
Yeah, I don't
really like digital games. It gives it less sentimental value.
Yeah, I want a physical copy, but I don't really think that they know. I mean, Sony's handling all of this, all the business part of it, and they really don't. You know, they probably know, but they're probably just not allowed to say. But yeah, Sony's handling all of that information. I really think that Sean Murray and the rest of Hello Games, you know, they got their heads down, you know, working on No Man's Sky as hard as they can. So they're leaving the business aspect of it to Sony. The Xbox question was very curious to me, because if the answer was no, he would be allowed to say no. Sony would have no problem with him saying no. Actually, Sony would love it if he said no, it's not coming to Xbox, because that would in turn sell a lot more additional PS4s for people who want to play this game so bad. Because I've seen comments all over the place where people are like, I'm getting a PS4 just for No Man's Sky.
Right.
And that would definitely sell a lot more PS4s if he said no.
Right, except the way he responded, he said, I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, he said he said he doesn't think he's allowed to talk about that.
Right.
So,
which makes it sound like he was talking to Microsoft about it.
Oh, they have been caught talking to each other before.
Really?
Yeah, and even after the PlayStation even after the timed exclusive for PlayStation 4, after that, even though Microsoft has that clause where if an indie game comes out on PS4 first, it's not allowed to be on Xbox. But after it was confirmed that it was going to be a PS4 timed exclusive, Phil Spencer did say he was interested in No Man's Sky. So with that being said, and the fact that Sean Murray can't even say no, tells me that all of the Xbox fans out there, it's speculation, but I think you're gonna get it.
Right. And it's definitely gonna sell more PS4s. Because we're probably not even gonna know until after it's out on PS4.
Right, yeah.
So it's still gonna sell more PS4s, but the people who don't go all out like that are gonna be happy in the end.
In my opinion, I think when we get the PC release date, we are going to definitely hear the Xbox date.
Right.
But that's my opinion. A lot of you are going to disagree with me, but and I love the fact that in the comment section, you guys do not get into console wars, or you guys don't do that. You guys have
so please don't start now.
Yeah, you guys have a lot of respect, and I love you guys for that. You know, I'm a PS4 guy, and I really want to see Xbox people be able to enjoy this game. You know, there's a lot of people who's already bought the Xbox and invested a lot of money into it. They can't just simply sell it or get a PS4 and in addition. You know, we're talking a lot of money here. So I really do hope that Xbox users get to experience this historical game.
Yeah.
All right, so that about does it on some of this information. And like I said, you guys have heard this before, but I just thought it would be interesting to sit here at Bookshelf Gaming and talk about it. And make sure you go down, check out the link, and check out Bookshelf Gaming's YouTube channel.
Yeah, you guys have been. It's real nice.
Yeah, you guys are all amazing. You know, I have the best subscribers here in the whole world. So you do know that I love you, I respect you, and I thank you for watching these videos, and thank you for all the support here on Cobra TV. Until next time.